Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Last Saturday at UFC Vegas 42, Max Holloway defeated Yair Rodriguez, and it was a very impressive performance. And people are wondering what's next for Max Holloway. Max Holloway's already was going into the fight was already ranked #1 in the world. Obviously, Alexander Volkanovsky is the champion, and Max has two losses to him. And so a lot of people are wondering who is he going to fight next? Who might the UFC match him up with? There's been some talk of some money fights. So I figured I'd make a video about what's next for Max Holloway. I've come up with three potential options. I'm going to go from least likely to most likely. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to give you a wild card option that nobody's talking about that I think would be an amazing fight. And I really wish the UFC would put it together, but I think it's very unlikely to actually happen. So first off, let's start with number 3, the least likely to happen on the list of ones that could actually happen. And that is Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira is the current lightweight champion. He's fighting Dustin Poirier at UFC 269. Max Holloway's kind of in a weird spot. You know, he has 2 losses to the current champion at featherweight. And usually when that happens, they move up in weight or move down in weight, try to change weight classes to just look for a change considering they've already lost to the champion. And also, Charles Oliveira used to fight at featherweight, and back in 2015, Max Holloway got a win over Charles Oliveira via TKO. It was a weird stoppage. Charles Oliveira injured his esophagus. Remember, he stood up, started holding his neck. And, but still, Max Holloway has a win over the current lightweight champion. So if Max Holloway, the UFC loves him. He's a very popular guy. He's a fan favorite. If Charles Oliveira wins at UFC 269, maybe, just maybe, Max Holloway could kind of fit his way in there for a lightweight title shot. The reason it's last on the list is because I just think it's very doubtful when you have contenders like Justin Gaethje and Islam Makhachev lining up for the next lightweight title shot. So I just don't think it's super likely to happen. But Max, he's played with the idea of moving up to lightweight, and he has that win over Charles Oliveira, so it kind of makes sense. So next on the list, and I think a lot of people can guess some of these names on the list, is Max Holloway versus Conor McGregor. They fought all the way back in 2013. That's the fight that Conor McGregor tore his ACL in. He won via decision, and he actually won with his grappling against Max Holloway. Both guys, whether it be Conor McGregor or Max Holloway, were totally different fighters at this point in time. They were both so young, still coming up in the game, and I just really feel like a fight between them now would garner a lot of interest. I mean, this fight has been talked about multiple times over the past couple of years. People saying, I wish we could see Max Holloway versus Conor McGregor too. And, I think it would be a highly compelling fight. Now, I don't know if it's super likely to happen because the UFC, I feel like they're going to try to give Conor a fight that's winnable. And I just, I think he can beat Max Holloway, coming off of 2 losses to Dustin Poirier where he's just been absolutely smashed, and in the last one he broke his leg. He's recovering from that leg injury. I don't know if the UFC wants to send him in there with Max Holloway because Max Holloway, in a way, is Conor's worst nightmare at this point. And I know Conor has a win over Max, but Max is a completely different fighter since then, and Max has a granite chin. He has decent takedown defense. I mean, I don't think Conor's going to go out there and out-grapple him anymore. And Max Holloway has unlimited stamina, and the pressure and volume that he's able to put on guys, that's Conor McGregor's worst nightmare. So maybe Conor could stop him early, but I just don't foresee that happening. And Max is going to drown him late. Conor does not have the best stamina. So I just don't think that's a fight that the UFC is going to be looking for. And also, Conor's a smart guy. He knows what that matchup looks like. I know Conor tweets out talking about every possible opponent every weekend to try to steal a headline. But he doesn't actually want to fight these guys. He does not want to fight Max Holloway at all, in my opinion. But, it would be a fight that would sell quite a bit. Both guys are fan favorites. It would have that cool story where they fought all the way back in 2013, 8 long years ago. Very similar to the Conor Dustin Poirier fight. They fought years ago, at 145, and then they rematched this year. I'm talking about in January at UFC 257. So it'd be a similar story to that, and Max could look for his revenge. Max has definitely earned, to kind of call his shots a little bit, but just not over Conor McGregor. So the number 1 on the list, and what I think is most likely to happen, and, I think that the UFC is probably going to make this fight, is going to be Max Holloway versus Alexander Volkanovsky. I know they already fought twice. And I know Alexander Volkanovsky already has 2 wins over Max Holloway. but they were razor close. Now, I thought the first fight, I thought Volkanovski clearly won. You know, it was a decision. It was a very competitive fight, but I thought Volkanovski clearly won that fight. Now, the second fight, I had Volkanovski winning, but that fight was razor close. I mean, either guy, I would have had no problem with either guy getting the decision. You know, Volkanovski has since fought Brian Ortega in that absolutely phenomenal performance at UFC 266. Max has strung 2 wins together. He beat the brakes off of Calvin Kattar in January this year, and now he's beaten Yair Rodriguez in a 5-round performance. There's not a long list of contenders at 145 right now lining up to fight Alexander Volkanovski. So you kind of need a next challenge for him. There's all that controversy. A lot of fans are saying Max beat him twice and now Volkanovski is still the champion. Even Max didn't even mention Alexander Volkanovski's name. You know, after in the post-fight interview, he said, you know what, everyone can come after me. I'm the best in the world. I think Max truly considers himself still the featherweight champion, even though he's not. And I just think, you know, that's the most compelling fight they can make at featherweight. There's no bigger name than Max Holloway right now at featherweight. And Alexander Volkanovski is the champion. He's slowly trying to solidify himself as the GOAT featherweight. I don't think he's quite there yet, but a third win over Max Holloway would be absolutely incredible. And then if Max Holloway somehow beats Alexander Volkanovski, you bet there's going to be a fourth fight between those two guys. So I think those, you know, that fight is most likely to happen. I think that's what the UFC most likely does. And I think those 3 opponents are really the 3 most likely options, you know, even though I think the first 2, whether it be, Conor McGregor or Charles Oliveira at lightweight, I don't think those are super possible, but I think on the short list of opponents for Max Holloway, they could happen. You know, I think it's in the realm of possibility. So the absolute crazy wild card fight that nobody's mentioning, it's kind of out there. I don't think it has a high chance of happening, but this is my favorite fight of all the fights that I'm going to name in this video, or that I've already named in this video, and that is Max Holloway versus Nate Diaz at lightweight. I mean, who wouldn't love this fight? I know it makes almost no sense, but Max Holloway has alluded to he's looking for, you know, money fights, this or that. Nate Diaz is going to be a very fan-friendly style. You know, Nate Diaz is going to march forward, look to throw combinations. It's going to be an amazing fight, regardless of who wins, which I would favor Max Holloway, but the size disadvantage, Nate, you know, hasn't even been fighting at lightweight the last few years. He's been kind of just not cutting weight and just sitting at welterweight. So I think the size advantage would be for Nate Diaz. Both guys have granite chins. Both guys have unlimited cardio. Book Max Holloway versus Nate Diaz for a 10-round fight. Last man standing wins. I would absolutely love that fight. And I think, you know, a lot of MMA fans would get behind that, especially the hardcores. And I know it kind of makes no sense. But Nate Diaz, you know, even though he's on a 2-fight losing streak, Max Holloway's on a 2-fight winning streak. You know, if you book those two together, it's just going to be an amazing fight. The fans are going to love it. The UFC is going to make money off of it, which obviously in the end, that's what they care about. And who wouldn't love? I mean, imagine the pre-fight for that. I mean, that'd be hilarious. Nate Diaz, Max Holloway at a press conference. And I just think the fight would absolutely deliver. So guys, do me a favor in the comments. Let me know which fight for Max Holloway you like the most. Don't forget to like the video, and thank you so much for watching.